Young and the Restless. Holden's ultimate edge over Kyle for Claire. Must know reasons. Young and the Restless. Kyle won't respect Claire's boundaries. Alright, so after Claire called things off with Kyle and went to LA for time away, she spent time getting to know Holden better as friends. But mostly Claire left Genoa City to get some space from Kyle. And the last time Claire said she needed a moment to breathe, Kyle proposed. So this time, Claire left the state. And guess what? Kyle, of course, had to follow Claire to Los Angeles to try and convince her to come home, saying that Holden is no good. And then Claire lost it when Holden told her that Kyle was investigating him. But despite all that, you could tell that Claire was still torn about Kyle because she seemed a little bothered when he said he was going home to Genoa City. A YNR Halloween twist and lingering doubts. And then on Halloween night, Claire got tipsy. She got a little wild. She told Holden, forget about Kyle. And they had a night of passion. Now, in the midst of that, Claire told Holden she had no regrets. But then she felt a bit guilty when she saw a text from Kyle with him and Harrison Locke, Redding Munsell, in their Halloween costumes. Because Claire was supposed to be the third of the three little pigs on Halloween, but she bailed on them. And then she told her mom, Victoria Newman, Amelia Heinley, that she's not sure Holden is the one for her and mentioned that he seems a little wild on Young and the Restless. Holden's past with Audra and Claire's reaction on Young and the Restless. And that came after Holden told Claire about his past with Audra Charles, Zuleika Silver. And Holden revealed he took $100,000 in hush money from Audra after she stole $500,000 from this guy back in the day years ago. Claire doesn't see that as a deal breaker, and she's not judging Holden, but you can tell she's taking it into consideration. After all, Claire's done a lot worse than take hush money. But she does sense that trouble may follow Holden, and Claire doesn't want to live life on the edge, but she's also not ready to get married to Kyle. Why Holden is the superior choice for Claire Newman. Even so, I'm seeing a lot of fans on soap social media that much prefer Claire to end up with Holden instead of Kyle. And I agree. I actually think Holden is better for Claire than Kyle. And here's why. Because the way I see it, when Claire got with Kyle, it was basically a starter relationship. Kind of like when you buy a starter home. It's smaller. It's not quite what you really want, but it lets you get your feet wet with home ownership, you know? Claire's journey of recovery and emotional readiness on YNR. So at that point, Claire was just getting past the trauma from her psycho Aunt Jordan Howard, Colleen Zenk, getting her to try and kill her parents Victoria and Cole, and her grandparents and her uncle. Claire had just spent time in a psych wing of the hospital and she was still in recovery mode, and like when you sober up after being an alcoholic or a drug addict, you're not supposed to get involved with anyone romantically for a year so that your head is clear. And I think Claire was kind of in a similar position, recovering from years of brainwashing at Jordan's hands. Claire had never had a boyfriend. She'd never been on a date. She'd never been intimate with anyone. She didn't really have a life. And then Kyle was pretty much getting serious with her almost from the start. He has been more serious than Claire about this relationship the whole time it's been happening. Kyle's rushed romance versus Holden's organic connection on Young and the Restless. I mean, if you think about it, Kyle's kind of been trying to low-key wife up Claire from the start. I think part of it was because as Harrison's nanny, she filled a slot that Summer Newman, Allison Lanier, had vacated when Kyle dumped her as his wife. In the end for Claire, it was all just too much too soon. Kyle was Claire's first love, but I don't think he's going to be her last. She doesn't want to get married and settle down with her very first boyfriend, Kyle. Also, to me, the way Claire and Holden got together seems way more organic. We saw that Claire got to know Holden slowly, randomly, and then as a growing friendship, and then later romantically, and then intimately. It's evolved very naturally. And Claire chose to be with Holden. He didn't swoop in and take over her life. Contrasting approaches to love on YNR. Respect versus control. If you recall, he's been very considerate of Claire's feelings and very aware of her feelings for Kyle and very respectful to all that. Holden has worked overtime to not act threatened, even though he's been crushing hard on Claire for a while. And at every step, Holden keeps asking Claire, is this okay? Is this what you want? And Holden even said, you know, Kyle loves you. And he asked Claire, before they were kissing and before they took it further, is this what you really want? And she said, yes. Meanwhile, Kyle has been pushing for what he wants and overriding Claire's wants and needs. Kyle suffocated Claire when she asked for space. So to me, basically, Kyle is taking away Claire's agency, trying to push her into this box of being a wife and mom, which is what he wants and needs in his life right now. Meanwhile, Holden is putting what Claire wants first, way over what he wants. Kyle using Harrison on Young and the Restless. On top of that, Kyle's using little Harrison to tempt Claire to come back to him, which is not fair to Harrison or Claire. I mean, she loves Harrison, but as Victoria said, Claire doesn't have to date Kyle to be in Harrison's life. And there's a chance, you never know, Claire and Holden can make a baby accidentally or on purpose, which I think would be amazing for Claire. She'd be a wonderful mom. But not right now. The deciding factor. Honesty and deception in Genoa City. You know, another big reason I think Holden is a better match for Claire is Kyle's a liar. He's lied to Claire repeatedly, both directly and by lies of omission, and he's still lying. Kyle fibbed about what he was up to with Audra before he went to France, and then fibbed about what happened in France, and then only partially came clean. And if you remember, Holden told Claire the truth about him and Audra and the hush money, knowing that he could lose Claire by coming clean, but he did it because he felt he had to. So, I will acknowledge that Holden waited till they got serious to tell Claire the truth, but I think that's okay. You know, you don't tell people your big secret until you're way deep in with them. You know, that's different from being in a relationship with somebody and lying the whole time. And you know, Kyle has been keeping things from Claire when they were very deep into a serious thing. And let's be real, Kyle has still not told Claire the whole truth about France. The fact that he was in a towel, half naked, rubbing around on top of Audra, making out with her. If Claire knew the whole truth, I don't think she would look Kyle's way again. Nothing stays peaceful for long, especially when romance, rivalry, and revenge collide. The latest triangle brewing between Holden, Kyle, and Claire has the entire town buzzing, and fans are wondering which man truly holds the upper hand in winning Claire's heart. While Kyle Abbott may have the name, the wealth, and the Newman connections, Holden's quiet determination and emotional depth may be the game changer. As sparks fly and loyalties are tested, Holden might just have the ultimate edge that Kyle can't match. Let's break down the must-know reasons why Holden could outshine Kyle, and why Claire might be drawn to the man no one saw coming. 1. Holden's mystery factor captivates Claire. From the moment Holden arrived in Genoa City, he carried an air of mystery that set him apart from the polished, predictable personalities of the Abbott and Newman circles. He's not a corporate puppet, nor is he trying to play social games. Claire, after all, has lived her life under intense scrutiny. Her struggle to rebuild her identity after her dark past with Jordan means she's craving authenticity and peace. Holden's enigmatic nature gives her that escape. He doesn't treat her like a project or a prize. He sees her as a person who's trying to heal. That subtle difference speaks volumes. While Kyle often leads with his ego, Holden leads with empathy. And that might be exactly what Claire needs right now. 2. Claire's emotional recovery aligns with Holden's calm strength. Claire's journey since returning to Genoa City has been about redemption. She's working to mend relationships, particularly with her mother Victoria, and to find where she belongs in a world that once branded her a villain. Holden doesn't push. He listens. He offers the kind of understanding that doesn't need to be spoken aloud. He's not intimidated by Claire's past. Instead, he respects how far she's come. His calm, centered energy contrasts sharply with Kyle's impulsive and sometimes chaotic demeanor. Kyle's charm might win attention, but Holden's steadiness could win trust, and in the long game of love, trust is the ultimate currency. 3. Holden represents the fresh start Claire craves. Kyle Abbott carries baggage. A lot of it. Between his messy breakup with Summer, his on-again off-again flings, and his corporate drama at Jabot, Kyle's life is a constant storm. Claire, who's finally finding her footing after years of psychological manipulation, doesn't need more chaos. Holden, by contrast, is a clean slate. He doesn't come with the weight of Genoa City's feuds or family politics. He's not defined by scandal or expectation. With Holden, Claire can breathe. She can imagine a life not dictated by the Newmans or the Abbotts. For a woman like Claire, who's been defined by other people's control, Holden's independence and emotional maturity could be the freedom she's always longed for. 4. Kyle's jealousy could be his downfall. Kyle has never been good at losing, and Holden's growing connection with Claire is beginning to test his patience. What started as curiosity has evolved into something deeper, and Kyle's signature arrogance is showing. He's used to getting what he wants, but Holden doesn't play by those rules. Claire notices the difference. When Kyle tries to one-up Holden with flashy gestures or possessive remarks, it only reinforces what she doesn't want. a relationship defined by competition and control. Holden's refusal to engage in petty rivalry just highlights Kyle's insecurity. The more Kyle pushes, the more Claire pulls away. And the more Holden simply is, the stronger his edge becomes. 5. Holden understands Claire's family trauma. Holden's connection to Claire goes beyond romance. It's rooted in empathy for her difficult family dynamics. He's quietly observed her struggle to balance her loyalty to the Newmans with her desire to forge her own path. Victoria and Cole may be trying to guide her, but Holden is the one who listens without judgment. He doesn't lecture her about her choices or question her motives. That emotional safety net gives Claire confidence. She doesn't have to prove herself to him. Kyle, on the other hand, has shown flashes of judgment, especially regarding Claire's past involvement with Jordan. His comments, even if well-intentioned, often come off as patronizing. Holden never does that. He treats Claire as an equal, not a damsel in need of saving. 6. Chemistry that burns slow and real. There's something magnetic about Holden and Claire's connection. Their chemistry isn't the kind that explodes instantly. It simmers, building through glances, shared silences, and moments of vulnerability. It's the kind of slow-burn romance that feels real, something that could last. Fans have already noticed the subtle electricity between them. How Holden's eyes linger just a second longer when Claire speaks, how Claire's tone softens when she talks to him. Meanwhile, Kyle's attraction to Claire seems more like a rebound, a distraction from his unresolved feelings for Summer or Audra. His approach feels rushed and reactive. Holden's feels intentional. And that's where the emotional depth lies. 7. Holden's hidden ambitions could match Kyle's fire. While Holden presents himself as grounded and calm, make no mistake, he's no pushover. Rumors around Genoa City suggest that Holden may have ambitions of his own, possibly connected to Newman Enterprises or even a mysterious past that could shake up the balance of power. If Holden is playing a quiet long game, it makes him even more intriguing. He's not chasing fame or fortune, but he knows how to use opportunity when it comes knocking. Claire, who has been learning to trust her instincts again, might find herself drawn to a man who is both kind and capable. Kyle may underestimate him, thinking his family's name gives him an automatic win, but Holden's patience might just be the real strategic edge.